Hey, welcome back. It's Seth with Music Teachers Muse. Tune in every week for real world examples of how to deal with students of all ages in a musical environment, guitar, bass, and ukulele specifically. Also, what not to expect is anything to do with performance or the general working musician stuff. This is strictly music lessons and all of the stuff that doesn't go with the actual musical part of it. Combating getting paid and dealing with difficult people and how to combat all this sort of stuff. Tune in and we will see you there. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about how to deal with difficult parents when it comes to the lesson program. So at some point you're going to have to deal with this, and it fortunately is not a common thing. At least it's not for me. This is all, again, every one of these examples that I talk about on this channel are based off real world experiences with kids, parents, co-workers, etc., all dealt with one-on-one music lessons. In the time of COVID-19, we're not able to do that as much, but this is still all relevant and practical, and you're going to be able to learn from it in your own experiences as a teacher. That's why I started this channel in the first place. So let's jump right in. When you have a parent who's being difficult, then it depends on why they're being difficult. So when you're in that scenario, for instance, if they're trying to challenge, just to give you a few real world examples, they're challenging your methods as a teacher or what their child is or isn't learning. First thing you need to do first and foremost is maintain that you are the expert in the room, and that is why they are paying you for that service. If they could do it themselves, they wouldn't be coming to you or anybody else. They'd be able to do it on their own. They wouldn't have to pay a premium price for that. So don't take any of their shit. Now, don't be a dick, because you want to retain that student as long as they're not a royal pain in your ass. As we covered in the previous lesson, if they are, unless they're paying you really well to put up with them, it's totally okay to kiss that student goodbye. There will be more. But in this particular case, like, I've had students have their parents sit in on the lesson, and there was a 5-year-old boy who hadn't been playing for a month or something, and every time that kid made a mistake, the mom would correct him and say, "No, do this." And I wanted to smack that lady and get her the hell out of the room because she wasn't even being encouraging to her own kid. That's a difficult parent right there. And that child's home life probably wasn't real enjoyable, because I imagine if she's like that with something like that, home might not be so easy either. And it's just not cool, you know. It's a brand new thing the kid's never done before. The kid was actually doing pretty good, but it made the kid uncomfortable, and that's not cool. That was a student I just subbed for. I wasn't his normal teacher. But again, you know, I at that scenario told the mom, "Hey, he's doing great. Just be easy on him. It's a brand new thing for him. Keep your cool." They usually are not being attacking towards you. It's just that they're irritated about this, that, or they're just controlling, or they're difficult people to begin with. In that case, you could definitely tell that was the case. But, you know, praise the student, let the parent know this is what's going on. He's doing great for his level of ability, and just be as positive as you can. That's how you deal with that type of difficult parent. If they're not happy with what the student's learning, you have to let them know that, again, you're the expert and you know what's best for the student. And explain to them in a way they understand that if the student's not happy, they're not going to continue to take lessons. They want to see their money is going towards something. Like, a lot of students don't learn songs all the way through for a very long time, because memorizing and learning songs is a lot more difficult than people realize. It doesn't come easily to most people. And so after, say, 6 months of lessons, the parent might want to see, hey, the kid can't play a song all the way through yet. It's not that they can't, it's just that there's a lot of basic fundamentals they're still digesting and learning for the first time that they don't have a good grip on yet. It might not be 6 months, but every student's different. But, you know, just reassure them that this is normal. We can start moving into that territory pretty soon, especially if it's going to keep that parent happy, keep them paying you, which is the whole point of having a full roster of students, or even however many you have. You want to keep them as long as you can. Now, as far as the parent being difficult about what the student is learning, here's a real world example of where I had to shut a parent down and did so spectacularly. So, and I don't even know why the guy was being this way. I get done with the lesson. This was a long-time student. Her older sister had taken lessons for years. And this student was really unique in the fact that she liked to learn Disney songs. And the last time I think she did a lesson, which had been some time ago, she had me transcribe the melody to a Broadway musical, which took several lessons and was painstakingly difficult even for me, because it's tough to do that on a guitar, because you have to mimic the human voice. I come out of the lesson room, the dad's standing there, and I didn't ever talk to him much, but he was a decent guy most of the time. But he just looks me right in the eye and literally says to me, is she really learning anything or is she just fucking around? And it took me a second to digest this, because no parent had ever done this before. And I just said, well, actually, she's doing really well. She's learning everything that she wants. She's making progress. She's been here for a year or two. What do you think she's not learning? And he really couldn't answer the question, but then he got cockier than he was before and said, well, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think you can learn all the bad habits in the world on electric, and everybody should start with acoustic. And I shut him down right away. I said, no, I don't agree with you, because you can learn bad habits on both. There's improper technique for everything, and every student's different. She's a 15-year-old kid with small hands, and she plays acoustic guitar, and even though she's been here for a year, it's difficult for her to play the thing, because that's just the nature of the beast. If you wanted her to have a little bit easier time, you probably should have bought her an electric guitar. And I can't remember, it's been long ago enough, I can't remember what the outcome of that was. Nothing bad happened. I just told my store manager about it, and everything was fine, and that never happened again. But that's a good example of me telling the parent, essentially, hey, you know, you're paying me, without actually saying those exact words to them. Dude, this is what you're paying me for. If your kid's happy, without actually saying this to them, shut the fuck up and let me do my job. Because, you know, I'm the expert here. Always maintain that you're the expert. That's what they pay you for. If they're trying to teach you how to do your job, within reason, you know, keep them happy, but don't kiss their ass. I will never kiss an ass, no matter how long I live. I come from a long line of non-ass kissers, and if I have to kiss ass to keep a job, I don't need it. And everybody in my family is the same way. Go Worshams, because that's just how it is. And I don't think you should be that way either. So that is the only time that's ever happened, and I handled it extremely well. I have a long fuse. For me to get really pissed off and blow up takes a lot. But there's times I've wanted to as students, because they test your patience, obviously. But in that case, there's one more scenario that comes with this that I can relate. Same store, and it was a mother. Now this parent I didn't have to handle so much, because literally there wasn't much I could do. Bottom line, the kid was actually a good student. Again, she was badgering the kid, but she'd also bring her two other rugrats in the room with her. There's a little room not much bigger than from here to there, as far as the distance. So the other two kids were playing and wrestling around. The phone's going off every 30 seconds, and she's in and out of the room within the whole half an hour. And the other two kids, I'm worried, one of them was going to hit their head on the metal music stand, and then we're going to have a problem on our hands. There's going to be an injury within the store, which there wasn't, but it was a definite possibility. And the lady's getting on the kid about making mistakes and pressuring him to be do the recital, this, that, and the other. And I don't think we ever got that problem resolved. I just told my boss about it because I knew something had to be done. This was a student I subbed for. But the student was great, but the mom was one of the most difficult ones we've ever had in that store. But I handled it by just being patient and just keeping my eye on the clock, because I couldn't wait to get them out of there and go have a beer or 5 after that lesson was over. So the main thing you can do, again, to reiterate, I always like to use real world examples and very specific, because in my case they're rare, but they have happened, is just maintain composure, always be patient, unless you just have a reason to lose it. I've never gone that far. It is not a good idea to do so. I'm not a pretty happy camper or a pretty person when it does happen. But you want to keep your job, first of all. So if you don't have a lot of patience, this is not the job for you. But again, you are the expert. Stand your ground on that. That's what they're paying you for. Try to keep them happy. Make sure they keep paying you. If they don't, or if they quit, rarely does it have anything to do with you. Or we had one student in the same store, not the student but the parent. They literally would just not show up for lessons to try to let us know how bad we supposedly sucked because their kid wasn't learning as fast as they thought they should be. Wasn't our fault at all. The dad was a dick. But, you know, that's just that. And just, you know, be as cool as you can be, and remember you're still getting paid. And if they quit, it's their own bullshit that causes that. You do your job the best you can and you'll be fine. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Check out our sponsors in the description below. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And tune in next week and every week. Please leave a comment below. That's very important. And we will see you next time.